All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another new edition of Mike on the Mic. This is our first one that we're doing on Zoom. I'm super stoked. We're getting ready to talk about WrestleMania. And I got my bros Gerald and Henry back with me on the table. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Mike?
What's going on, guys?
Distancing and whatnot.
Good to have y'all back on the table. So let's just get into it. So as we all know, with the current pandemic that's going on, everybody was questioning whether WrestleMania was going to happen in the first place.
Right.
And a lot of people said, no, it shouldn't happen. Cancel it. Let's be safe. Keep the superstars healthy. But you know how Vince McMahon is. The show must go on. So what do you guys think?
I mean, honestly, whoops. I'll let you.
No, Gerald, go ahead, man.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of said this in this week's episode of Split Decision with Pat, and like how the UFC kind of wants to keep their matches going, keep their fight cards going. I just think it's irresponsible. I mean, you have these wrestlers. Number one, you're taking away from the fans. That there's going to be no one at these events. It's kind of weird, actually, and eerie if you're watching it. But number two, you're also putting the wrestlers at danger because they still have to go home to their families.
That's true.
Those people probably work and probably bringing in germs. Not to mention the wrestlers have to come back and wrestle each other, which is like the exact opposite of social distancing. I mean, it's about as anti-social distancing as you can get. So, me personally, I think Vince should have just waited until this thing blew over, maybe hyped up SummerSlam or made it some hybrid event where it's like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, sometime in August, once this stuff hopefully is over, because this just seems like weird. I mean, I watched Smackdown. I've been watching in the last couple weeks, and it's just weird.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to most likely play devil's advocate here because this is Vince McMahon that we're talking about. Vince has always had the mantra of the show going on. We've only seen the show stop, WWE stop in its tracks completely when it came down to a few certain points. The whole Chris Benoit issue. And then once again, when there was a snowstorm, I believe it was some type of snowstorm that or a fire that caused them to having to film Raw directly from the from the towers in Connecticut. But keeping with Vince's vision, granted, social distancing is very important. The health of the wrestlers, very important. That's without a shadow of a doubt, that's the real thing. But judging from Vince's mind, I'm going to go from what he thinks. Vince McMahon is very good at making moments when it comes to WWE, and he knows how to decide those moments. Remember 9/11? Right after 9/11, he had it was the first greatest gathering since the attack on the World Trade Center. That was huge. That is remembered until this day. Let's see here. Eddie Guerrero passing away. The show still went on. Even Chris Benoit, before they knew all the craziness, the show still went on. Owen Hart, God bless his soul, he fell from the rafters. Still went on. Jerry Lawler had a heart attack on the side of them calling a match right after he wrestled. Show still went on. The thing is that this is great content for the WWE Network. If you go ahead and think about it further on down the line, what is going to be the staple of WWE? Guess what? During the biggest pandemic, the WWE still was able to put on a version of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the way that Vincent Kennedy McMahon thinks. He thinks ahead. It's although eerie without no audience and what have you, he's still making the show go on, and that's what's going to set WWE aside from the other major sports organizations. So,
yeah. I mean, what else can be said? You're right. I mean, that is just Vince who he is, but it is something impressive that it has still gone on. But at the end of the day, It is what it is. We still got WrestleMania to talk about, fellas.
We still got WrestleMania.
So let's get into it. Mike, what matches we talking about?
So as I've told you in other conversations, I've been following a lot about what's going on and all the matches that have been announced. There have been a few superstars who have been removed from their respective matches because they were sick. So for their safety and the safety of their fellow competitors, matches had to be changed, new faces added, and we're going to talk about some of those when we look at the card. So I guess in no certain order, let's start at the top. Let's start with the Universal Championship match. Now, this match originally was supposed to be Goldberg taking on the big dog, Roman Reigns. However, Roman decided to be responsible and pull himself from the match due to immunocompromisation, following his bouts with leukemia. So, it's awesome that he did that, and I applaud him for that. And so it was rumored, and it's now been announced that his replacement is none other than the monster among men, Braun Strowman. So he's long overdue for a title shot to actually hold the title. He's had a few in the past, and unfortunately, he was buried in those matches. But
true.
I think this is going to be his time.
Yeah, I mean, what better time than WrestleMania? I mean, of course, given the situation at hand and given how this came about, it is, it fits the mantra of the show must go on. Here is Braun. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Goldberg beating Bray Wyatt. Honestly, not going to lie about that. But
neither was I.
I think this is going to be a good match. Two strong men going at it. And I think Braun, I think it's his time, honestly.
Good match is a stretch.
True.
Unfortunately.
If this was 10 years ago, it'd be a different story.
WCW Goldberg all day versus modern Braun Strowman, it would have been awesome. But you got to think about this being, unfortunately, I feel that this is going to fall flat the way that Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar did at WrestleMania 20. It's going to fall on like that to the fans, because first and foremost, there was little. I mean, this build between Goldberg and Roman was the only thing that they had going was when during the Hall of Fame when Goldberg was kind of pissed off that a whole bunch of people left, and he made a smart remark about Roman using the spear and what have you. And then it just happened to be circumstantial that, okay, naturally he beat the Fiend, the baddest guy that's on the damn roster right now. Who's going to go ahead and go against him? Of course, it's going to be Roman Reigns, because that's the golden child. But, I respect Roman for pulling out of this. But even then, I felt that this match was doomed from the beginning. It was just going to be muscle versus muscle. We can't really expect a lot of dynamics from Goldberg. And Braun Strowman is going to do his best. Braun Strowman is a workhorse. He's going to wrestle this match, and he's going to do it with all his heart. Goldberg is going to drop this. I don't know if we're supposed to make predictions now, but Goldberg is going to drop this championship to him, and Braun Strowman is going to probably be served on a silver platter to Roman Reigns when all of this blows over.
Oh, boy, yeah. Who knows how long that's honestly going to be, but no, I think you're right. I think that's probably exactly what you're going to see. I think they'll keep the belt on Braun for maybe about a good month or two just to give him some type of prestige, but he's dropping at this moment Roman Reigns comes back.
They should keep it on him longer, but at the same time, it's hard to build Braun without the crowd. The crowd plays a huge part of this.
Oh, yeah.
Unless there's a way that WrestleMania is going to be, I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent here, guys, but I think WrestleMania is going to be it's going to be an anchor for how things are going to be perceived from here on out. Because if they continue to provide programming, they have to be able to build these superstars and build these storylines without an audience. So far, they've been doing okay with it, but if they're gonna build Braun Strowman to the star that he should be, they gotta really, really put the machine behind him.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how this match turns out. I think we can all agree that Braun is due, and I do see him going over in this match. Now, how long will he hold the title? Only time will tell. Now, lately,
Only time
WWE has been extremely predictable as far as the feuds and when the belt's going to be dropped, who's going to win the belt. So, again, only time will tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go to our next match.
Yeah, so next up, the WWE Championship match. The Beast Brock Lesnar taking on the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. And Drew is another one who is vastly overdue for a title reign. He's used so much better this time around. They got rid of that 3-man band gimmick, which was just goofy as all hell. He is so much better on his own, and I can see him definitely winning this match. I mean, and how crazy would it be to see Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman leave WrestleMania champions on their respective reigns? That would be just awesome.
It would be. It would be. Gerald, your view?
Honestly, I think this is a good match for Drew McIntyre. I mean, it's one of those things where you've built Brock to be this like larger than life, unstoppable giant. So you're not going to have Rey Mysterio go in a match and we're expected to believe that he could beat him. But Drew McIntyre, who in my opinion has just been put on this pedestal, has been skyrocketed to the top. And I mean, it's a great push. It's not like he's been forced. It's been typical strong man. I'm just going forward, just running through everybody. Here's my chance. And that's respectable. So I think truly it's believable that Drew McIntyre will beat Brock Lesnar. I think it is possible. I think it's going to be a great fight.
I think it's going to be a great fight, too. I think it's going to be a great match. You have Drew McIntyre, who, like you said, is long overdue. He is the chosen one. He was supposed to be the one to be carrying the company on his back. He was supposed to be, an anchor, a pillar. So here it is. Here's his chance, and he's going up against the baddest man there is, Brock Lesnar. Say what you say about Brock. Say what you want about Brock Lesnar, but Brock is a legitimate champion. He is a legitimate champion, part-time or not. He is a legitimate champion, and I cannot stress that there could be no better opponent for Brock other than Drew McIntyre. The pairing is great. It's solid. It's a solid story. That from the time that he eliminated him in the Royal Rumble to now, the buildup has been crazy. And of course, guys, Paul Heyman is selling this thing. Is selling it greatly. And so is Drew McIntyre over social media. So this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a match that I want to see. So I'm definitely believing that Drew McIntyre is going to go over here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's Drew McIntyre's time, and definitely new champion. Whatever night this match is on, I don't specifically know which night each match is on, but yeah.
I think it would take more than one Claymore kick to take Brock down, but
no question.
Yeah, of course, no question.
Take him down.
I'm betting on 3.
That sounds about right. People hate Brock Lesnar as the champion. He's a part-timer. He never defends it on Raw. He always gets so much heat, on social media, and But the thing is, he's a money draw for the company. Especially when they go overseas to Saudi Arabia, for Crown Jewel. They love guys like him and Goldberg and, the guys that are, retired. That's what it is for him. He's a money draw.
The money draws, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next match. This is a match that's been really hyped up over the last few weeks on Monday Night Raw. And I'm kind of really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be another knockdown drag out. The Raw Women's Championship match. The man, Becky Lynch, taking on the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, this match actually, in front of a crowd, this would be the most hype match probably of the night. You have Shayna Baszler, who virtually clawed away from NXT up here to the main stage and essentially has the potential to make a name for herself real quick. But again, it's one of, I go back to my earlier statement. It does kind of suck the fans that crowd noise, the things that make, wrestling isn't going to be there for this moment. But, I think it still will be a great match. They've built this so well, and I think it's Shayna Baszler who wins this. It could easily go either way, and I don't think the crowd will be mad one way or another, but I'm going to go with Shayna.
I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler as well. Only due to spoiler alert, guys, spoiler alert. But I definitely believe that Ronda is going to play a big part of her winning. Now, just because it's another WrestleMania.
Yep.
Becky Lynch is coming in as champion. Shayna Baszler, as you well know, is Ronda Rousey's buddy. So
that's true.
She's part of the 4 horsemen of MMA, and Becky Lynch is part of the 4 horsewomen of WWE. So, guys, remember I did this last year. Remember I was saying about the 2 groups finally clashing. This could be the catalyst. This could be the catalyst for it. So I'm definitely seeing Baszler going over here.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shayna Baszler will take this match, become the new women's champ. There's also been rumors I've seen online about Ronda Rousey preparing to make a return. So to see her make a surprise return, interfere in the match, it would be kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. In this time, it only adds to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with, not having any crowd whatsoever this year.
Mm-hmm.
First WrestleMania that has had no crowd, no nothing. And
yeah, first is like maybe first WWE event.
So it's going to be weird not hearing those big pops or the loud boos, And I think that really affects the wrestlers too when they're cutting their promos and they come out for their matches. They're not getting the reactions, so they got to kind of improv.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I hope, and I've seen rumblings about this. I hope that WWE has decided to bring their film crew in for this, as opposed to their regular live crews.
Yeah.
They bring their film crew into this and make these matches cinematic.
Yeah,
it would behoove them to do it because everybody's watching. There's not a soul that. Here's the thing about WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the spectacle. Everybody flies into this thing to come see it live. There's a reason why they set records every single year. Their attendance records every single time. There's no doubt in my mind that there are going to be every single one of the people that were planning to be in Tampa that night, this Sunday, are going to be watching WrestleMania. They are going to watch WrestleMania. They're going to find a way to watch both nights, whether they watch it on those days that they originally air or they're going to watch them later. The fact of the matter is that WWE has to adapt to the situation that's going on right now. And the only way that I could see this working out is if they were to present it in a fashion that makes sense, but also makes sense to the wrestling fan that's at home. Because we're at home, we're rooting, but we're not. They're not getting the fan reactions and all of that while they're there. But to make it just as, dude, I don't know. Everybody in the world has been watching Tiger King like crazy, man. We need a change, okay? We need to come on, change the live cameras, make it something awesome, make it something unique. So
that's a genius idea.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to another women's match. It's another one that's been, I think, built up pretty well and kind of hyped over the last several weeks. The NXT women's belt. Charlotte taking on Rhea Ripley. And I've been watching a lot of NXT recently, and they just get better every week, the superstars on there. And I've got a few favorites on there for sure. Rhea Ripley is one of them. She is a badass chick, and I see her definitely going over in this match. And Charlotte's going to help her go over. And I think it's going to be a hell of a match.
I think this girl gets a Cinderella moment, honestly. I think, no question. I think she's going to go over Charlotte Flair. And you know, it says something about Charlotte Flair, too. You know, a lot of wrestlers get, you know, virtually ridiculed for not letting younger superstars get over. But Charlotte, she's very generous. I was just actually, before we went on air, I was watching WrestleMania recap. I was watching actually Raw. And they replayed the WrestleMania main event from last year with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. And, I mean, Charlotte went on, like, she lost, you know? So, I mean, I think this moment for Rhea, I think she's worked hard. I think, again, it's going to be a large-in-life moment for her.
Yeah, I definitely believe that this is going to be a career-defining moment. This is the first time that the NXT Women's Championship, any NXT championship, is being defended at WrestleMania. You know, we always have the we always have to build up the War Games leading up to WrestleMania weekend. This is one of the first times that you are going to see an NXT championship match being decided at WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, the only NXT championship match that is on the WrestleMania card. That says a huge thing about WWE taking the risk. Mind you, not Adam Cole is not defending his belt. Jesus, I hate that I'm not getting this guy's name because I see his face. He's one of my favorite guys. He is the North American heavyweight champion. Come on, help me out here. But, yep. Keith Lee is, if anything, if anybody would be great for WrestleMania moments, would definitely be Keith Lee.
Absolutely.
He's not even on there, man. So this is huge. This is a big investment by the company for this match, and I think that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley are going to deliver. And it would be smart to not have Charlotte Flair go over, but then definitely have Rhea Ripley go over to legitimize NXT. So I definitely agree with you guys.
I mean, I'm thinking if I'm not wrong, Survivor Series, the girls, you know, went over at Survivor Series. So, I mean, the build-up's there. That power is there. The potential's all there. And I think keep building on what you have there and make almost NXT like a third brand. Do that. Blur the lines. I mean, you have NXT competing against AEW every week. You need to legitimize it by letting this girl go over on Charlotte. So, I mean, what better way to do that?
Exactly.
What better way?
Charlotte is without a doubt one of the best competitors, you know, in the women's division. And again, like you said, a perfect way to legitimize it, a perfect way to put Rhea Ripley over even more than she already is. And I'm looking forward to a great match between the two of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So while we're on the women's matches, let's go ahead and talk about the Smackdown Women's Championship match. It was originally supposed to be a 6-woman elimination style match. However, one of them was removed due to illness. I kind of feel like this match was kind of thrown together like the last minute. And but I can see one thing coming out of this match. I really feel like Sasha Banks is going to turn on Bayley in this match.
No question.
And I think that's the key to this match and the best way to make that turn. And I think this is going to be a really interesting match. I mean, you got Bayley defending against Sasha, Tamina, Naomi, and Lacey Evans.
No question.
This match, but Sasha Banks' turn, I think, is the most significant thing that we're probably going to see.
Exactly. There's no question to me that Bayley is definitely going to lose this championship. Okay? She's definitely going to lose it. Just like you said, this has been a mediocre build. It's been a mediocre build, man. Tamina, non-factor. I'm sorry. You're of the bloodline, but you are not of the bloodline. I mean, sorry. It's like you have no charisma, no. I mean, God, like, come on. Nia Jax. Like, Nia Jax is like, you know, that's the one who's carrying it, and everybody's kind of waiting for Rock's daughter to come in here and just tear the house down. I want to like you, Tamina, but you're a non-factor. Naomi, she's already had a WrestleMania moment where she won this championship. Lacey Evans, it would be wrong for them to put this championship on her because, I mean, yes, the sexy Southern Belle, but it's played out. It's already played out.
Yeah.
If you want to legitimize, the thing is to legitimize this championship. And the best way to do that is to go ahead and put that on Sasha Banks because Sasha Banks is definitely other caliber. She could talk. She could wrestle. And me being selfish, I am an Eddie Guerrero guy. She is Eddie Guerrero to her core. I'm sorry. She's supposed to carry that. Let her carry that belt and re-legitimize that belt because I'm sick and tired of Raw Women's Champion having more having more importance than the SmackDown Women's Championship. So this will be a great thing for her to win, and I definitely believe that Sasha will.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself.
And since you brought up Nia Jax, I did see recently that she has been cleared to return to the ring. Again, could we see it at WrestleMania? Maybe.
Anything's possible.
Possible.
I feel like she's going to make her return in a big way.
It could be something crazy where I don't know if they're still not, because remember this match was originally a 6-way match. So
enter her into the match.
If they entered her into the match, it would be very, very, very interesting. So, hey, we'll see.
Yeah, the WWE is very famous for throwing curves.
Yes, especially at WrestleMania.
It seems.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, anything's possible, and I mean, that'd be one hell of a way to come back. Surprise entrance into the 6-way women's championship match. Why not?
Yeah. Well, so the next matches that I want to get into are probably the 3 of them really looking forward to. Their specialty matches. And in no certain order. Let's just start with Edge versus Randy Orton, last man standing match.
That's personally my number 1 match. I'm sorry, Mike. What was that again?
Oh, I saw Henry looked like he had a thought he wanted to throw out there.
Forgive me, guys. I'm sorry. It's like remember the time it's beginning to catch up with me now. I'm glad that you guys have decided to go ahead and talk about this. Unfortunately, I will have to go ahead and clear after this point. Thank you guys for having me, but definitely let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. Edge versus Randy Orton. Guys, this is the main event. If nobody has ever said it, this is the main event of WrestleMania. It is huge. It is seismic. No matter what's going on, the build for this is classic WWE. Edge is back, 9 years away. Here he is, came back with a spectacular performance at Royal Rumble. He killed it. The guy made a highlight reel in just in a short amount of times that he was in that ring. He tore it down. Now he eliminated Randy Orton. Randy Orton took offense to that. This is great. Rated RKO going at it at WrestleMania. Who better opponent than Randy Orton? These guys carried SmackDown on their back. They carried SmackDown on their back. They took the reins. They carried it, both individually as heels and as baby faces. This is basically what John Cena versus Randy Orton would have been a while back. This is now the vets again. Randy Orton versus Edge. Edge is back. Edge is phenomenal, looks great. He could still go, and they are going to make magic, guys. I definitely believe that that's going to happen. I think that Edge is going to go over, and he's going to beat Randy Orton. Last man standing match, please. This is the match where you settle scores. Triple H, HBK, they settled the score. Undertaker, and who he wrestled. Kane settled the score. This is the match that settles the score. Other than Hell in a Cell, last man standing match is without a shadow of a doubt. You are better than the other opponent. This, guys, is going to be a WrestleMania moment for sure.
I agree, man. This is the match I've been looking for, actually. Out of all the matches, this is the one that I'm like really emotionally invested in because I grew up being a big fan of both Randy Orton and Edge. I mean, this is like my childhood virtually like culminating. This is awesome. I can't wait to see this match. Who I think will win it, I don't even want to take a chance against it. I just want to enjoy it. I'm just going to sit back and see what happens.
Absolutely. So let's sit back and watch it.
Yeah.
So, guys, once again, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate you guys. LitTube, for all the subscribers, please subscribe to LitTube. Okay, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. This is the premier space for all sports, everything that has to do with combat sports and sports in general. LitTube is the place to be. This is Henry Silvering signing off.
Take care, brother. Be safe, man.
Okay, brother. Thanks for being
All right. No problem.
So now it's just me and Mike.
I guess it's down to you and me, brother.
All right, man. So yeah, let's continue talking about Randy Orton versus Edge. Like, what do you think, man?
I think it's going to be the match of the night, honestly. It's got the potential to blow the roof off the place, even though there's nobody there to, actually see it in person. But
yeah,
like Henry said, Edge is back. He's in phenomenal shape. He's still cutting promos, better, as good as, if not better than, a lot of the others.
Yeah.
Randy Orton was another one. Randy Orton cuts some excellent promos. I think they're both kind of at the top of their game, or they've never really. It's as if they never
really fallen off.
I mean, between their singles matches against each other and matches as rated RKO, these two can put on one hell of a show, and they're going to do just that. I think Edge is going to go over in the match. It's his return. Well, I guess it's the second return to the big screen, but because he returned at the Rumble. But as far as WrestleMania returns, this is his moment.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you as well. Yeah, like I said, match of the night possibly. I know we're probably crunching for time with the recording on the app. I don't know how long we've been going, but
yeah,
it's been just some
about that. I'm not sure either, but there was just two other matches I wanted to touch on real quick, and then
let's do that. Then we'll close.
So next up, speaking of John Cena, he's taking on the Fiend. Firefly Funhouse match.
That's an intro. I don't know what to expect with that.
It's Bray Wyatt, so you really never know what to expect.
Yeah, honestly, John Cena inside of Bray Wyatt's world. This is Bray Wyatt's chance to redeem himself after losing the title. And what better way to take out one of the biggest superstars in WWE history?
It's definitely going to be a wild match, and Bray Wyatt is a creative genius. I mean, look what he's done with this character.
Yeah.
So he's been so over with the fans since he debuted not only the Fiend character, but the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something different. It's something fresh. And, again, Bray Wyatt just changed the game.
And he's definitely, one of the faces of the future for this company. He's a few years younger than I am, but he's still got plenty left in the tank.
Exactly. Let's talk about the final match of the night.
Oh, yeah. And this one, I'm really looking forward to a great match and possibly a surprise return of the American Badass.
I predict it's going to happen. I told you earlier this week.
And this is another specialty match. This is what AJ Styles has called a boneyard match.
Now, I'm confused. Is this like a buried alive match? Like, is that what this is?
No, from the way AJ described it on Raw in his promo of the night, it's more like you're having a match. Now, when I think of boneyard, you think of like a graveyard, right? Or a cemetery.
Yeah, that's why I thought buried alive.
What it is, it's not buried alive. He's not burying him. He's just fighting in a graveyard.
Oh, okay. So it's like a street fight in a graveyard.
If you will. And the Undertaker's promo last week on Raw was phenomenal.
Yes.
Not the
Oh, one of the best promos I think he's ever made.
Yeah, and it was especially funny, when he's told AJ that he hopes that he brings those two ass clowns, Gallows and Anderson with him, and he said, there'll be no match for the Holy Trinity. So does that mean he's bringing two people with him? And if he does, who could it be? Kane, Mankind? You never.
If it's Kane and Mankind, yeah, that. Or what if it was like something else? Like, what if it was like Kane and like Demon Finn Balor? Because I've heard nothing of Finn Balor in this WrestleMania.
That's not a bad idea. I didn't think about the Demon Finn Balor.
Yeah, like have like a new age,
Yeah. I mean, there's a few others that I would have thought could be part of that, like somebody that was part of the corporate ministry back in the day, but a few of them have passed on. So it can't be Big Viz. It can't be Paul Bearer.
What about if it was like Undertaker and APA?
The APA, that would be cool. The Undertaker and the APA. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, I think I actually watched like one of the old matches on YouTube one day, and like he was with the APA. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they used to roll together. I was like, hey, and that, it'd be good. Who would see that coming?
Yeah. Just thinking about that brings back memories of the corporate ministry and the ministry of darkness.
Dude, I just renewed my WWE subscription. I was like, we're in quarantine. I might as well try to come, watch everything on my laptop or something.
Yeah, I've been watching it on my Xbox and on a big screen.
There you go.
You can download the app for that on your Xbox. But
yeah,
it really does have a lot of potential. I'm really curious to see where it goes, how it goes. As far as who goes over in this match, I think it's going to be AJ, honestly.
You do? I think it's going to be The Undertaker, honestly.
Well, here's why I say that. I mean, the Undertaker streak is no longer intact. So, not really pressed for a win, per se. But I think the Undertaker is sort of nearing the end of his run. I mean, I could be wrong. He always seems to come back for one more match, and there's always WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't, me personally, I don't think it hurts AJ if he loses. And obviously, it skyrockets his career if he wins. I mean, that's a big notch on the belt. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are only two people that have ever done it. So if AJ adds to that list, that puts him in a very high category. But honestly, I don't think that AJ Styles is going to win. I think it will be Undertaker. I think there's going to be outside interference because something's going to have to stop Anderson and Gallows. Something's going to have to help them because I think they're going to play a big part in this.
I agree.
As far as we know, it's a no disqualification match. So interference is possible.
That's true.
But I think this is Undertaker's match to win, especially if he comes back as the American Badass. I mean, come on.
I mean, it wasn't my favorite version of Undertaker, but I did
like it. That was my favorite.
It's a part of Mark and who he really is in real life,
Yeah.
He's a biker guy. He builds and rides the motorcycles. And, it was kind of cool to see a different version of the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You got to keep the character fresh,
Yep.
And
I agree.
But it would be kind of cool to hear that, the Limp Bizkit rolling, start playing, and him ride out on that motorcycle.
Oh, that'd be nuts, dude. I would lose my mind.
WrestleMania moment.
That would be one of the best moments.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, me and you, we're going to be covering wrestling, in the coming weeks. So we're definitely going to do a recap episode. But that being said, though, for all the people out there watching, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In this time of social distancing, we have found a way to keep it going. We will have tons of content for you coming. Not just wrestling, not just football or UFC, but like we're talking all types of new content we're working on. We're all included on that. So stay tuned for that and have a great night. Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.